Akanda mandalakaram vyaktam jena characharam tatpadam darshitam jena tasmai Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Ajnana Timirandasya Gnananjanan Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Gurura Brahma Gurura Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Shri Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Dhyanamulam Gurumurti Puja Mulam Guru Mantra Mulam Guru Vakyam Moksha Mulam Guru Kripa Moksha Hari Om Hari Om Guru Om Guru Om Guru Jai 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 Hanumana Kosai Kripa Karo Gurudev kinai. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai, Kripa Karo Gurudev Kinai. Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai, Kripa Karo Gurudeva Kinai. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Jaya Jaya Hanuman, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Jaya Hanuman, Jaya Guru Deva. Greetings, everyone. Future Kirtan campers, past Kirtan campers, on the fence, maybe Kirtan campers. Greetings to you all. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Northern California, and what a great opportunity for me to tune in and sing to my guru, call to my guru, and try my best to share that invocation and that intention and that request with you all. I know some of you have been singing with me both in person and online for years and years and years and years, and I just love that. I love how our family, I'll say starting with Nubia and Ezra and me, and then stretching to Ratika in Bali, and then over the years stretching out to so many people who we've met and shared these practices of bhakti with. It gives me such a delight in my heart to know how this yearning for the divine, this longing for the divine, creates and has created such a family of joy and love all across the world. I wonder, I know that there are many worlds, there are many parallel universes, and there are many distant universes, past, present, and future. And I wonder if people or beings on all those planets and all those universes are joining in on the kirtan as well. I kind of think they are, but I don't know 100% sure. So I can't be 100% sure, but I think so. Anyway, you all, if you are up there, down there, wherever those planets are, welcome as well. So I know that one of my jobs today is to tell you about Kirtan Camp and what we do in the online Kirtan Camp and just how it works. But before speaking much about it, I want to share with you one of the practices that we do a lot in the online camp, which is, I'll explain it to you, and then we'll dive in. First, I'm going to sing very short phrases. Maybe 3 notes, maybe 4 notes, maybe 5. We'll see what happens. But short, concise little melodies, either in ah or Hari Om. And you'll sing them back. You're all in your own rooms or your own, sacred spaces, but just sing back. And then I will move that into a kirtan. Now, I won't tell you the kirtan yet because, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. But it will be in the same melodic sense as what our exchange will be. Hey, I'm seeing like this amazing light flashing on and off behind me. I kind of like it. I hope it doesn't bother anyone's eyes. We're not doing it on purpose.
It's natural light. It's really intense.
But it flashes on and off.
Yeah. Maybe this.
Okay, it's okay though.
Yeah. Okay.
It kind of gives us a little bit of a dazzle. Okay. So here we go. Remember, I'll just sing Ah or Hari Om. And then, yes, I do know which kirtan I'm going to do. So maybe I'll tell you now before we jump in.
Ratika said that maybe it's the celestial beings you're talking about.
Maybe it's the celestial beings. That's what Ratika wrote from Bali. That's awesome. So we're going to go into Om Namah Shivaya, a mantra that most of you probably know. Om. How does one define the word Om? I know it's a little corny, but I love the biblical paraphrase where it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was Om. I know that might sound cliche, but that's it. Om, the sound of creation, the sound of preservation, and ultimately the sound of destruction. And then the word Shivaya means unto Shiva. Shiva, the Lord of transformation, the protector of the devotees, the cosmic dancer. And Namah means I offer myself to, I salute, I bow to. So we're saying Om, I bow to that transcendent, benevolent being, that ocean of transformational consciousness, Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. It could also be loosely translated as not my will, but thy will be done. Om Namah Shivaya. So we'll dive into that. And also, I want to say now, so that we can be kind of prepared, that if anybody has any questions, either about these bhakti practices, these kirtan practices, or about the upcoming Kirtan Camp, online Kirtan Camp, you can type that into your chat or into the Q&A place. Well, it's hard to do it while singing, but we'll just see how that goes.
I think it might be your computer.
Yeah.
Should I try the light off just to see? Because it's really intense. Is it better?
What do you guys think? Well, you can't answer. I like it. It's very soft. It's a little dark, but it's not flashing. Let's leave it at that for now.
Ratika says it's dark, but for the singing we can keep it. Yeah.
Oh. Let's start all singing together, all together. Let's say 3 ohms. like to remind everyone, just in terms of singing, when we sing syllables like ah, or hari, shivaya, ram, all those ah syllables, we should just open our mouths a little bit more than we normally do. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. here's the melody of Om Namah Shivaya. I'll sing it a couple times, then I'll break it down into smaller phrases to make it a little bit more easy to sing, and then we'll put it all together. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. So the first phrase is just with Om. Let's repeat that like a whole bunch of times. Got it? Then Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. So I'm going to put those two phrases together. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Again. Om Namah Shivaya. The third phrase is Om. Just that. Om. Om Namah Shivaya. That's the fourth phrase. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. So the second half is Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Let's see if we can put that whole melody together. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Namah Shivaya. Om 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 Namah Shivaya. I call this Shiva's lullaby. Shiva's lullaby, because it's sung by Parvati. When Shiva comes back from his world, universal travels, dancing on this planet, dancing on that planet, destroying this world, destroying that world. He rests his head on Parvati's lap. And this is what she sings to him. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. And in our online course, all the chants that I teach for harmonium players, for those wanting to learn harmonium, I teach them both as melodic playing, like Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, which is the traditional Indian way of playing harmonium. But we in the West like our chords, so I also teach all the songs with chords. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. And for those who want to get even deeper into it, I offer something that's so meaningful to me, and we see if it becomes meaningful for you, is the Indian system of notes, where each note has a name. Sa ga ma pa da pa, da pa ma ma, da pa ma ga, ga re re sa. It's called sargam, but we'll leave that for now. I find and have found that everything that I offer in Kirtan Camp, whether it was in-person camps or online camps, resonates differently with different people. So for some people, the immersion into sargam, these learning the notes and the names of the notes and becoming friendly and familiar with the notes, is very, very meaningful. It's very, very meaningful for me. For others, not. For others, they just want to learn the chords. I shouldn't say just, but want to learn the chords to accompany the chants, because that's what resonates their hearts the most. And all the things like singing Hanuman Chalisa, it's a 40-verse prayer to Hanuman. which I sing every day. Sometimes I whisper it, sometimes I sing it out, but a day doesn't go by where I don't, in some way or another, recite it. And so we share that. But that's not for everyone either. Some people feel like, oh, that's way too much words for where I want to be right now. And that's totally cool. And so anyway, we sing to God, we sing to Goddess, we sing to Shiva, Parvati, we sing to Rama and Sita, we sing to Krishna and Radha, and end. And it's my super, super great joy to share it with you, to share all this stuff with you. And, very often people ask me, well, do I need to play an instrument? And also, do I need to want to play an instrument? And the answer to that is, of course, no, that the essence of this is in the singing and is in the chanting and is in the way, the discovery of how to connect our voices, our physical human voices, whatever they may be, to our deep emotional heart. And all the feelings that live in that heart, in our hearts, and to sing them out and offer them to the universe, offer them to God, to Goddess, to our fellow wounded human beings, and to the world in general. So playing an instrument, I've been playing instruments since I was very little, so playing an instrument is important for me, for my bhakti expression. And I love playing harmonium, I love playing guitar, I love playing banjo, believe it or not. That's kind of it. Those are my instruments that I play these days. But it's completely irrelevant. Well, it's not the right word. Each person's entryway into bhakti and their journey into devotion is unique. And for some of us, learning how to accompany ourselves on an instrument is really valuable, and for others not. And I love that. I love that we can all approach this vast field of human and divine love from a different attitude, or a different angle, and a different perspective. One thing about teaching harmonium, which is super cool for those interested, it's an instrument. It's an instrument of instant gratification. Where lesson one is 2 notes, just holding down 2 notes. I mean, I could say lesson 1 is 1 note, but I'm going to jump and say that lesson 1 is holding down 2 notes. Radhe Radhe Sham Bolo Radhe Radhe Sham. Radhe Radhe Sham Bolo Radhe Radhe Sham. Jumping out of the mood of Shiva, but you can get so much joy from the simplest thing on harmonium. And then, of course, if you go on YouTube and Google, the finest harmonium players from India, then it's like, wow, they turned it into an incredible concert instrument. But it doesn't need to be. So I'm talking, and I really want to know if anyone has any questions. And really, all kinds of questions are accepted. Not that I have all kinds of answers, but we'll see about that. But I guess I want to know if people have been thinking about joining Kirtan Camp for a while, but they're just not sure, what might be on your mind. And not that I want to convince anybody to join Kirtan Camp, because I don't. But if there's a question that I think I might want to join, but I have to ask this question, please do. And the way that we're going to do it is, as I've asked you all to write them into either the chat or the Q&A section. And our dear buddy Ratika, who has been kind of, what can I say, well, it just sounds too limited to say tech support, because she's been our complete partner in crime from not crime, our partner in joy, our partner in bhakti, holding up the technical aspects of the online Kirtan Camp from the very beginning. So she'll read out to me the question, and I'll see what comes.
Thanks, Jai. We do have a few questions already. So the first one is, I am very self-conscious of my singing voice. Would you have any suggestions on how to work with that?
That's such a great question, and I think it's a challenge for many people. Not everyone, but for many people. And I will say that I didn't really embrace, oh, my identity, is that the right word? Or I didn't come out of the singing closet till I was in my 40s. Just a little. I would peek out here and there, but I didn't really come out because I was so self-conscious of my voice. You know, people say, "How could that be, Jai? You sing all the time. We love you. You're our favorite singer," or something like that. You know, but no, I was terrified of singing. I first started singing a little bit when I was I think 19, because I was studying classical Indian instrumental music on the instrument called the sarod from Ali Akbar Khan. And he said that everyone who studied with him had to also study singing, Indian singing, because he said that all music came from the voice. And this was, directive was also said to the tabla players and the percussionists. He said, you all got to study singing. So I just started it a little, and I found a great joy in it, but I didn't do it in public for quite a while. And then gradually I found myself loving kirtan and just being with groups, but not as a leader. Just, you know, we'd all get together, friends that I met in India with Neem Karoli Baba, mostly. And we just sit in the living room and we'd all sing together. And that was just so uplifting and so beautiful. And then ever so gradually, I began to say to myself, Jai, well, oh, they're cutting the trees down there. I wonder if you can hear it. I said, it was like on a soul level, sing or die. You know, I had to step out and sing, or something inside of me was going to wither away. And a lot of it had to do with sobriety and recovery and just accepting myself and knowing that, you know, I start singing even by myself alone, but definitely when I'm in front of people. The first couple of thoughts that have come into my mind as I sing the first couple of notes are, oh God, that's terrible. What are you doing? Why do you even think you're a singer? And then, you know, the other side of my mind goes, well, thank you very much. I've heard that. I've heard you say that so many times. And that just doesn't help me and doesn't help anyone. So you just guys, you know, I'm like totally schizo in my mind. I say, you guys, you just be quiet and I'm going to sing. And I'm going to try to accept myself and love myself as I am and let that voice come out. It doesn't happen overnight. But that's my thoughts on the subject now. And you know, all of the years that I studied with Ali Akbar Khan, he was an incredibly loving man, but he could also be very critical. But he never once criticized, that I heard, the quality or tone of someone's voice. He would be very strict about singing in tune. Match this note perfectly. But you know, whether someone came out with you know, the voice that we have, that we're born with, that God / goddess / nature gives us at birth. That's our voice. And there's no way on earth that could be wrong. We learn to you know, train the instrument a little bit and stuff like that, but really it's that self-acceptance.
Thank you. We actually had another question come in kind of related to this, and you've kind of answered it, but I want to read it anyway and see if you have anything to add. Okay. The question is, can a tone-deaf person learn to sing kirtan? Is it too late for someone to start after they are, in quotes, over the hill?
I love that. Well, you know, if you're over the hill, I'm over there with you. And I would say it's never too late to start anything. And I will give a bunch of guidance on how to practice, and when I say practice, I'm meaning like 5 minutes a day or something like that, to help tune the voice. I don't believe in tone deaf. Tone deaf, I think that's a brutal term that's been foisted upon us by previous generations, and I don't accept that. But that's not to say that some of us might have difficulty initially matching a tone. And, when we say singing in tune, I just say matching a tone. But it just takes a little bit of training and a little bit of guidance, and we can begin that process. We're not over the hill. You're not over the hill. I recall that something that Ali Akbar Khan, again, it's nice to talk about him. He did now, but this gentleman that he was teaching was a young man, so perhaps you might think, okay, it's different. But this guy couldn't hear or match a single pitch. It was very difficult for him to match a pitch. So the sarod instrument doesn't have any frets, so you can only find the note by ear. So this young man just couldn't do it. So Ali Akbar Khan took a permanent marker and wrote lines on the metal fingerboard of the sarod that would show where each note was. So in a way, you could say that it was a shortcut, but what the miracle was that after this man practiced for a while, he began to hear the pitches perfectly. And then he erased them from his sarod fingerboard and became a beautiful, beautiful musician. I think we all have it, and we all have the ability to start and be joyful beginners.
Thank you. We have another question, which is, could you speak a little bit about the difference between a shruti box and harmonium, and would you recommend starting with one or the other?
Both the shruti box and harmonium work in the same, for lack of a better word, technology. There's metal reeds inside that when air blows through those reeds, they vibrate and they're tuned to pitches. With a shruti box, there's no keyboard, so in a sense, it's much, much more simple. You just pump. You have to open. You have to know which holes to open, little wooden slats really, and then you just pump it, and it gives you a drone to sing with, and it's very easy. Whereas harmonium, of course, you have to play the keys. Myself, the sound of a shruti box has never really, really appealed to me, so I've never gotten into it. But again, each one of us is unique. But I really love the harmonium, and I love that, as I said, you can start on the super easy level, because actually, if you're holding down 2 notes and pumping the bellows, it's the same as opening up 2 of those slats on the shruti box and pumping those bellows. But in the shruti box, that's as far as you can go. Whereas harmonium, slowly but surely you can just learn so much and expand so much more. So that's my opinion. I know that like Indian flute players all use shruti boxes. It's just a matter of what you like. Again, you can go a lot further with the harmonium, even if you move in baby steps.
Thank you. We have another question, which is, I love Kirtan, but I'm not a musician. Would you still recommend the course?
Well, I have to disagree on the second half of that sentence or that statement. Because everyone who sings, or everyone who keeps a beat clapping or dancing, is in my opinion a musician. Now there's worlds and worlds and worlds of craft and skill and training that one can have, but we're all musicians. We all have the innate ability and the innate desire. Tell me I'm wrong if you think, but I think we all have the innate desire to express ourselves through song. Babies do, all the babies do until their parents tell them not to. So we're all musicians. And if you love kirtan, and you love to sing, but you never played an instrument, who cares about an instrument? But you love to sing, and you love to sing kirtan. Again, I'm not a proselytizer for my own kirtan camp, but I would say that's all you need. I mean, if you like to sing and you love kirtan, you're my friend. I hope that answers that. It's I don't mean to be flippant, but yeah, it's true.
Thank you. We have another question, which is, what would you say is the essence of kirtan practice?
That's a very deep question, and I've been singing kirtan since I was about 16, and I'm 72 now. I went to India first when I was 19, and I would say that over the course of all those years, almost on a daily basis, my where I land in a kirtan and where I find myself singing from and singing to, it is always changing. But at this moment, I'll say for me, kirtan almost immediately, not always, but almost always, connects me to a deeper place inside of my own being. And when I get connected to that deeper place inside of my own being, I feel thus next thing that happens is I feel connected to my guru and to my gurus. And then when I'm singing with a group, the next thing that happens is I feel connected to all the people that are singing with me. And if I'm singing by myself, upon completing my singing, I feel so much more connected to my loved ones, my family, and the people with whom I come in contact, and I'm able to offer a more heartful essence of myself to everyone I meet. There are some days I go by and I don't really sing. Again, I do my Hanuman Chalisas, but then I find I can see in myself a tendency, a little shutdown tendency. The world is pretty harsh, and it's quite easy to want to shut down and keep stuff, at least at arm's distance. But then when I do that, I'm keeping myself at arm's distance from myself. And that's not a good feeling. And kirtan allows me to connect inwardly and outwardly at the same time. The essence of it, I would like for each person to explore that question themselves. Those who are just kind of starting out with kirtan, as well as those who've been singing kirtan for many years. It's a beautiful daily question. What is this practice for me today?
Thank you. We have another question, which is, I've always wanted to study with you, and now that this is online, I can. But as a beginner, do you think I can learn enough to share kirtan with my community?
Well, I would, if we were speaking with each other, my first question would be, what do you mean by your community? Because some people, they will think, my community, I'm going to go to Carnegie Hall. And others will say my community will be my yoga class. And others might say my community is my wife or my husband or my partner and our best friends or our neighbors. So that's a kind of a question back. But that being said, I prefer to hope that when we say, can I share as a beginner with my community, we're talking about small groups or intimate people. And or say if you're a yoga teacher in your yoga class, or if you're a yoga student in your yoga class. Or if you have a family, a couple of kids and a partner, with your family, or you had some best friends to come over and share a meal and share kirtan. All those concepts of community, yeah, after, say, the second episode, you got it. You can do it. And, one of the great joys for me, well, there's two things. One of the great, well, there's many things, but two things that pop into my mind. One of the great joys is when people write us and say, after a Kirtan camp, whether it was an in-person or online, and say, I got together with some friends and they didn't have anything, knew nothing about Kirtan. I invited them over and I shared this with them, and boy, it was awkward at first, and I missed the notes, and I was feeling like self-conscious, so I shy, but I kept going, and then I got into it, and my friends got into it too. How beautiful. Or, at the local yoga studio, I asked them, could I come in and bring my harmonium or whatever instrument down on Tuesday evenings and just to say, whoever wants to sing with me, come sing with me. And then if people come that know some kirtan, we'll take turns leading. I love to hear that so much. The other thing, one of my super goals, hopes, put it that way, in Kirtan camps is that every single one of us can become comfortable with what I call the reality that each one of us has everything we need to sing our prayers, to express our hearts. Just in our homes, just in our sacred corner, we all have everything that we need to open our voices and sing mantras as prayers, as a way to connect with the divine, as a way to heal ourselves, as a way to help heal the world. So yeah, if it's, I want to do 2 episodes and go to lead a kirtan at Red Rocks or something, then maybe not. I hope that makes sense.
Thank you. The other question was, is kirtan bhakti yoga?
Kirtan is one of the practices of bhakti yoga. Let's see if I can, kind of make a very, very simple explanation. And as I make an explanation, know that it's just my perspective, and others might have a very different explanation. But I really believe that each one of us, when we get born, in our DNA, it might not be in our physical DNA, but in our soul DNA, we're born with a connection to the divine. And however we evolve as a human being, whatever karmas we bring forth or whatever, however we grow, our personalities, that connection will be expressed in a different way. But we all have that connection. So I call that connection bhakti. Bhakti is translated roughly as devotion, but it can also be translated as connection with the divine. And I feel so strongly that we all inherently have that essence of bhakti within us. Bhakti yoga is a very big set of practices that kind of allow us to feel and perceive and inspire more that connection that's already there. Practices that bring that hidden spirit to life and the ability to share it with others. Kirtan, for me, is the main practice of bhakti yoga. For others, like my wife Nubia, her main practice of bhakti yoga is her classical Indian dance. I hope I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I think that to be true. And I know people who their practice of bhakti is creating beautiful flower offerings to the divine. Poetry, songwriting, painting, cooking, painting, drawing, so many, particularly the arts, can all be considered practices of bhakti. And one of the other elements is, particularly in kirtan, is repetition. Repetition of these mantras that are so powerful and so ancient. Repetition is the way to not be bored. I know that's completely counterintuitive, but as we sing in kirtan, the melody keeps changing, but we repeat and repeat the mantra. That part of the mind that needs a certain kind of stimulus, like the iPhone stimulus, for example, quiets down. And the repetition then becomes like super, super exciting, because what are we gonna experience? In the next breath, what emotions are gonna come up in the next repetition of the mantra, the next cycle of the kirtan, the next cycle of the song, the melody. So anyway, that's a long answer to a short question. Kirtan is one of the practices of bhakti. And for me, it's the main. I guess second, can't say second, third, fourth, because they're also important. But the other one that's super important to me is my relationship with my family. And trying my best to keep that clear and open, honest and loving. That's bhakti yoga practice for me. And luckily, my family is so loving, that's not that hard. Anyway.
Thank you. We had another question around kind of the structure and format of online camp. So I'll just go ahead and say that I put in the schedule for the online classes into the chat, so everyone can see the dates and the time. The first live class is actually on Sunday, this coming Sunday, the 17th at 1 p.m. It'll be starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time. But if you can't make any of the live classes, they're all recorded and then they're available in the member platform. And then the course itself has 7 full episodes that you'll have access to for a full year. And Jai, I don't know if you want to add anything else about the actual episodes.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I decided to call them episodes because I love TV and I love TV shows and I'm always waiting for the next episode. But when Ratika says the 7 episodes, I must add that each episode is divided into, many, many segments, but around a singular theme. And each episode has 1 or 2 chants and a harmonium tutorial and a guitar tutorial, as well as stories, my own personal experience stories, which can sometimes be pretty wild, as well as stories of the gods and the goddesses. What am I leaving out? There's also a lot of bonus things to download, and there's printed music, and not in Western notation, but in this Eastern way of writing, and so much more. There's episodes where, portions of episodes, shall we say, or bonus episodes. That's the way to call it, where Nubia discusses all the different families of the deities of India and how to relate to them, who to mix with who, because people like to mix mantras and sometimes it's cool, but other times it's just not. And there's bonus episodes of my friend Daniel Paul teaching. He's a tabla player, but he is a great, knowledgeable, super friendly person, teaching about how to play simple rhythms, not on tablas, but on whatever beat thing you got to accompany kirtans. And what am I forgetting, Ratika? There's so much more.
Yeah, there's also a lot of the vocal practice videos that you've added, our harmonium practice, and then also introduction to harmonium. There's been a few questions about how to purchase our harmonium. So I'll also say there's a harmonium resource guide in the platform, but if anyone wants it we're also happy to email that. You can just email support@jaiuttal.com, and we'll send you a list of resources for harmoniums. I don't know, Jai, if you want to add anything as well about that.
No, just what you said about the harmoniums. And if people have questions about particular harmoniums, I can answer somewhat. You know, I can't, if I'm not actually playing it, I can't totally give, you know, say buy that or don't buy that, but I can give some guidance. One thing also I want to say is that I tell the entire story of the Ramayana, the story of Ram and Sita, Hanuman and Ravana, the demon, and we do that in segments, and that's super fun, and it's been so meaningful and important to me. I talk about my guru, I tell how I met him and how he continues to be a powerful presence in my life every day, every night. The great thing, or you know, something that I really love about this course is that each person can move at their own pace, since it is available for a year. Some people find that they can just go through all the little segments of an episode in a week, and they're just ready for the next episode, because they're coming out weekly, I believe. And others want to spend, you know, like a month or two on the very first episode, and then go to the second. And you know, I don't want anyone to ever get stressed out behind what I'm sharing, what Nubia is sharing, what Ratika is sharing in Kirtan Camp. It should be easeful, inspiring, and just like add to your life. So there's no need to, you know, some people, there's some music theory things that I share, and some people say, I can't wrap my head around it. That's fine, you don't have to. But just, you know, listen, absorb it a little bit. Maybe in the next month you will understand it, or maybe you won't, and it's okay also. You know, there's so much offered that you can just move at your own pace and dive into the stuff that you really resonate with, and just maybe superficially follow the stuff that isn't meaningful for you.
Thank you. And then we had another question related to this. And she says, hi, so most of it will be self-guided, pre-recorded, mixed with the live. And then I'll just add one comment there, and Jai, you might have more to add there, is that I would say you're also incredibly available in the platform to answer questions. So the platform itself has, you can ask, add comments, share your experiences, and also ask any questions. And you're really responsive in there.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that, Ratika. Yeah, so a lot of it is pre-recorded, but I can't even begin to say how much energy and focus Nubia and I put into recording this course. You know, at first when the pandemic came, we actually had an in-person Kirtan camp planned for that summer, and it was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? So Nubia said, let's make an online course, and I was very resistant at first. I'm sort of resistant. That's just the way I am. But then, you know, we really focused. And one of the things was that in our in-person courses, you know, camps, I'm so free-form and spontaneous, where in these episodes and these little segments, I had to be very, you know, like, let's just deal with this question, with this subject. And it made me focus my own mind in a way that I hadn't expected, and in a way that I felt really good about it. Felt really, creating this course gave me so much. Yeah. Without, at the risk of sounding like too advertising, Ratika, will you say about the discount that we're offering for people?
Sure, yeah. So we're offering for everyone who signed up for this info session $150 off. And so that's, I'll put that, there's a special coupon code for that, which I will actually just put in the chat right now. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to email us at support@jaiuttal.com. And then the first class actually starts Sunday, so you could jump right in. But this coupon code, you'll just use the link that I added to the chat. We'll also be sending out an email right after this, which will also contain the link. And then, we can jump right in. You'll save $150 by using the link.
I think that sounds great. I want to join. We just have a few minutes left. So, Ratika, is there like any questions that are like just longing to be asked, or can we spend our few last minutes singing?
I think we can sing.
Okay.
There's a question, someone wanted to know if they can start after March 17th.
Oh, Nubia, my lovely Nubia is on the other side of the room, and she just read to me that there's a question that somebody says, can they start after March 17th? And yes, of course. And once again, all the live sessions will be recorded and will be available for everybody. If you can't make it, or if you want to, see it twice or thrice or however many times. So you can join after the 17th, for sure. Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, 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 Jaya Jaya Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, 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 Jaya Ram. Syāvar Ramachandra ki Jai. Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki Jai. Shri Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Shri 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 Bhavanim Karoli Santa Maharaj ki Jai. Shri 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 Jagadambe Siddhi Ma ki Jai. Hari Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you all so much. I hope to see you on Sunday. And if not, I'm sure and trust and hope to meet you somewhere along this beautiful, sometimes scary, always divine path of life. Much love to you all. Ciao.